Over 50% of our state is rural. That makes us the fourth largest rural population in the United States. Out of our schools, over 75% are Title I. That's because our state is a high poverty state. Now, in our state, 10% statewide of our students have disabilities. Out of the schools that I surveyed, there were closer to 15%. Out of those students, 37% will graduate with a high school diploma. 61% of our students with disabilities are in higher education or paid competitive employment. In their annual performance report to the United States Department of Education, Mississippi indicated that there was a need for greater collaboration between higher education and interagency groups. Because the e-portfolio can be extended to collaboration and reflection with these groups, I thought that I would do an instructional design to teach special education teachers about the use of e-portfolios. And with that, the high leverage practices from the Council for Exceptional Children and the evidence-based practices for the National Technical Assistance Center on Transition. The National Technical Assistance Center on Transition reviewed literature with transition and came up with some evidence-based practices. We will use those in our instructional design for the e-portfolios, but we will also use TPACK. TPACK is technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. So it takes those three areas and the intersection of those areas, the technological, technological content knowledge, the pedagogical content knowledge, and all of them combined to better integrate skills with teachers. We will also be using Google tools because not only are they free for educators, but they have some safety features that will make them FERPA compliant, and they have cross-platform capabilities. So in order to do the instructional design, I developed a survey of 50 questions based on some previous studies that used TPACK. For those surveys, I had to contact superintendents to be able to use teachers in their schools. So I originally started contacting with a convenience sampling, and unfortunately the schools around me were not able to do anything because of IEP season and state testing. So then I decided to do a random call out of 50 schools in our state, and that's 1/3 of the 151 districts that we have. 12 of those superintendents said that they would definitely send a survey to their teachers. Of those, only 8 districts had teachers that responded. Of those 8 districts, there were 95 teachers that could possibly answer, and out of those, 25 teachers answered. For the needs analysis survey, we first looked at the demographics of teachers. So what are the needs of Mississippi special education teachers in the instructional design for e-portfolios? And in that sample of teachers we surveyed, more teachers had a master's degree than any of the other levels of education. And 1/5 of the teachers were not highly qualified. Generally speaking, the teachers noted that they were comfortable with collaboration, but they had difficulty in experiencing failure when they tried something new. Our second question involved what were teachers' perceptions of technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge skills. Of those, I noted that teachers generally felt confident in pedagogical and content knowledge. That's with 2 exceptions, but in order to understand that, we need to know that people don't know what they don't know. So this is only their perceptions of what they believe they know. Then I asked about the correlations, and the pedagogical content knowledge correlated with highly qualified. If you are not highly qualified to teach, because one of the qualifications is taking the praxis principles of teaching and learning, that they would feel uncomfortable in that area. Previous studies have also indicated a link in technological knowledge and years of experience, and I found that to be true also, because teachers were not comfortable with YouTube and Google Sheets, but that was just tech tools and not necessarily technological knowledge or technological concepts. So recommendations based on the needs analysis, I changed the lesson order so that the ones that the teachers felt more confident with, I put first, and the ones that they felt less confident with, I either split or put last. I decided on partner grouping needs to partner teachers with more experience with teachers with less experience. I added more scaffolding with 2-minute videos and more job aids and resource sheets, and I put in some concepts for motivation based on the ARCS motivation model.